Disagree, the flagship, only on A2D Radio. Uncle Sweeps, Nick Delgazzo, the legendary Brian Wilson, and the fucking man himself, Tom Arnone. These three guys from Jersey bringing you real talk with no agenda. You don't like them? Tough shit. It's their show, and they're going to say whatever the hell they goddamn want.
Let's talk about it, family. This is Agree or Disagree, only on A2D Radio. We are brought to you every Sunday by our doc. Gotta make him yours. That's Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton locations. Find him on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Tom Arnone, Nick Delgazzo, Brian Wilson, Greg Milakovic, the family out there joining us. We got a ton to talk about today. A lot. Crumb of the week. At the end of the show, Sixers, Flyers, Phillies, update, maybe sports come back. We're praying sooner than later. Top 10 sports movies of all time. So we'll go over that together. And then a little Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts. And the reason I want to bring it up again is because I want to dissect what happened at the end of last year with 11 and how it sort of plays into me feeling like he shouldn't worry about anybody else but himself when it comes to being the starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles and not have to look over his shoulder at all. Eagles, top 10 offense going into 2020. We'll talk about that as well. That ties right into our poll question brought to you by Ambuck Services, AMBUCK Services.com. Find them on the web, AmbuckServices.com. Tell them A2D and the boys sent you 20% off gutter guard, gutter replacement, everything outside of your house. The poll of the Eagles will have a top 10 offense in 2020. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. We live and everywhere you get your podcast. We're there as well. Like, subscribe, follow. Gentlemen, we talked about this going in the last year, and we were all jazzy hand up when we talked about the Philadelphia Eagles offense. Okay? We thought we were loaded. Nobody was stopping us, and injuries derailed that very quickly. Now, in week one, what I will say, with the healthy Deshaun and Alshon, it looked like we had the capabilities, especially in that second half, of being like, okay, this is a top 10 offense in football. All right, now injuries derailed that whole conversation. Now, listen, you still have them two guys, but, you bring in the addition of Jalen Reagor, a first-round pick, and you hopefully J.J. Arcega-Whiteside develops a little bit or a lot, and a little bit of an emergence from Greg Ward, okay, and then you use not only a first-round pick, but then you dabble two more times throughout the draft at the wide receiver position, and the addition of Marquise Goodwin. Now, granted, he's hurt all the time, but again, you have a track star type team that you're going to be running out here come September. Now, that ties right into the poll because I just believe, on paper, this offense should be top 10. When you talk about having 11 under center, and you talk about a healthy Deshaun Jackson and the first-round pick on a kid, and you assume, he has something that translates to the league, which is speed. Miles Sanders not only showed a big-time, rookie season, but you expect that to get even better for the kid, and become even a better running back. So that's a huge upgrade. And then, listen, you're still a little thin at running back, but then you talk about your tight end positions loaded, right? I think it is a top 10 offense. If healthy, it could even be a top 5. If healthy, if guys stay healthy. So that's the big what if. But on paper, it has the capability to be in a top 10, if not a top 5 offense. Family, chime in. Let us know. So I completely agree with the poll question. Boys, agree or disagree? Eagles will have a top 10 offense in 2020.
Tom, did you just pull up on a motorcycle? That was awesome.
No, I think it was.
Hog talk.
No, it was my windows open.
See, wasn't me again. Hey, Greg.
Hey.
So, agree or disagree, boys?
I'll agree. They were, I think, what were they, 14th last year with that slop. I understand down the stretch and all that good stuff, scheduling and stuff, but you don't take that away from them. But I think they were like 14th, like 24 points a game, almost, I think 303, 370 yards a game, something like that, whatever it was. and then like you said, the injuries kind of derailed that. I'm glad you covered that because last year it was like, hey, is there enough footballs to go around? So every season there's hype and excitement and like, oh man, we got to, not just you guys, anybody. It's just like, hey, we're loaded. We got all these weapons. Can't wait to use them. And then, obviously the season always sometimes will tell a different tale. So, we will see. They were second in fumbles, so they got to clean up stuff like that. Fumbles lost. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? So that'll lead. And that'll cost you. Sometimes the top 10 because if you're not, you're not scoring and not moving the football because you're turning it over. That's a huge negative right there. So, but we'll see. I mean, like I said, tougher schedule. There's a lot of variables. Tougher schedule. Got to stay injury free, like you said. Play calling, scheming, using guys right. And just flat out execution. And then you're hoping to get better wide out play or just any wide out play. and like you said, Miles Sanders maybe to take that next step to being great. You know what I mean? Had a tremendous rookie season, but we'll see if we'll see how that plays out in year 2.
Yeah, and the thing with Miles is, you expect him to have a even better year, but then you're thin back there. I mean, I like Boston Scott, I like my third back. So I mean, there's we'll talk about some running backs out there. There's only like 2 of them, and which one you would rather have, as a vet right now until maybe some guys get released. That could be possibilities as well. But as of right now, we'll talk about the 2 that really are the only really free agents of any worth out there, and see if you're interested in them. Wills, agree or disagree? Eagles have a top 10 offense in 2020.
I'm going to disagree, but I think they're right there. I just want to see how the receivers shake out. But they're right there. I think they're right around 10. Definitely could be top 10, but at the moment, I'm going to disagree. And what's up, Chucks? I seen you chiming in. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And everybody else chiming in. What's up? How are you? I just think it's a big year for Miles and individually because second year for running backs is huge. Sometimes guys have a good first year and then they don't have they'll get hurt and they're never heard from again. Sometimes guys have a bad first year, really good second year, turn out to be really good players. He had a pretty damn good first year. So hopefully he takes that step, stays healthy, and keeps it going. If that's the case, I think then we're definitely top 10. Because if Miles emerges as an elite back, I think he emerges as a solid option last year. If he emerges as an elite guy that you got a game plan for, that takes us to the next level, in my opinion, offensively. So I think they have a very good chance of being top 10. As of right now, I'll keep them right around 11, 12, 10, 11, 12. So I'm going to disagree, but I think they're right there. And they have a possibility to move, maybe top 5 if everything works out.
Yeah, to your Miles thing, Vaughn Hebron on yesterday said, year 1 to year 2, so big, just in terms of team slowing down for him.
Massive.
Bigger than that, he said, just learn how to take hits better. And that's the big thing too. When you talk about Miles getting banged up a little bit, year 2, you start to learn how to take some of these hits better, and you develop on that level as well, which is so important. The staying healthy. So he's a big part of it. And then, obviously we know we're going to get out of tight end position, and then it's like what one of these young wide receivers can emerge. Can Jalen Reagor come in and be that one of them guys right away? Can JJ take a step hopefully for us? Right? Does Greg Ward say, you know what? You guys are all forgetting about me, So you got to have somebody besides like Deshaun Jackson. You got to hope these other 3 guys can get better. You know what I mean? Continue to get better. Now you expect Jalen Reagor to get better. You use that high pick, and you expect JJ the same thing. Use a second-round pick on a guy. Now Greg Ward, the guy you didn't expect anything from, is a guy who looks like he got better out of JJ and Greg Ward. Right now, I think, like I said, Jalen Reagor, as much as I thought it was a tiny reach, when you can, the thing that translates is speed and be able to take a ball, that you catch on I don't know, a bubble screen, a 5-yard slant, whatever, and you can go 40. That's something that can translate right away. Right now, people talk about lack of quarterback play and drops. All right, I'll put some merit there, and I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna trust the kid, that we just used, that the 21st pick of the draft on either. I'm going to assume that kid can play until he tells me otherwise. Make sense? So I'm going to assume that's a good addition. Now, again, a rookie wide receiver. How much can you expect? Well, listen, just some explosiveness. Scare defense a little bit, right? Because you hope that JJ can be that bigger target, guy for you. That's what you got to hope for, so that you have the speed in Deshaun, right, and Reagor, and then you sort of have the catch, that guy who sort of catch everything, and Greg Ward. But then you have a guy like JJ who can be that physical guy. He needs to develop into that physical guy, that tall or big wide out, and just realize, hey, I just got to catch a damn football. That's all I got to worry about. I just got to catch the ball, right? And I think
possession guy.
Yeah, and the game will slow down for him, I hope, in year 2 too. Greg, agree or disagree? Eagles have a top 10 offense in 2020.
Yeah, I disagree. I do think they're just outside the top 10. But I look at a couple glaring holes, and you guys have kind of all touched on them all. You know, outside of Miles Sanders, what does our backfield truly look like? You know, how much, trust and how much difference is Boston Scott going to be in the second year? Again, we're talking about Boston Scott, right? An undrafted guy, not unheard of to make an impact, but doesn't make me feel all warm and fuzzy at night when I go to bed and we're sitting with Miles Sanders and Boston Scott. He could do some things. It's just, not a game breaker for me. Same thing with the wide receiver. Outside of Alshon and Deshaun, you have a whole bunch of guys. Tommy, you just kind of hit on it. Which guys take that next step and kind of show that, hey, we are NFL wide receivers. Greg Ward did great for us last year, but we needed someone to do great for us. So we were kind of just, throwing hopes and dreams into an undrafted quarterback. So same thing with JJ. How much of a step? If he takes any step this year, that's a lot more than he did last year.
Oh, I mean, 35 catches feels like
rookie of the year.
Yeah. So,
and then the other side of it too,
Ben Simmons rookie of the year.
Yeah. The other side I look at too is you look at that left tackle spot, that anchor on your offensive line, and with the rumors of Jason Peters coming back or potentially coming back, and what that means for the evolution of Andre Dillard kind of worries me a little bit. I like Peters. I wouldn't hate it, but he is also older, right? So we traded up a pick. We traded up 2 picks to get Andre Dillard. And if after sitting behind, one of the GOATs at the position for an entire year, you're not ready, that's a little concerning to me.
Well, I don't know if it's not ready. I hope that it's just that they think Peters can be the insurance policy if he isn't ready, right? I hope that that's the right way they're looking at it, not the other way around. I hope they're not looking at it like he's not ready. You know what I mean? This is what I hope it's not. I hope it's not. He's not ready, but so we're going to bring Peters in because he's not. I hope it's more that he's ready. We think he's ready, but just in case of an injury, it'd be nice to have Jason Peters still on this roster.
Yeah, you're right, Tommy. I hope that's the case, but I just don't think Jason Peters, with the amount of time and clout that he spent here and just in the league in general, he's coming in to back up anybody.
Well, It's money. It's money. It's money. It's not having to move, right? It's money. He's not getting more than a 1-year deal anywhere. So it comes down to money and not having to move anywhere and trying to be a part of another ring and somehow. Because at the end of the day, guys get hurt. So he's going to get snaps. He's going to play. So at the end of the day, I'll take him as a backup. I'll take a Hall of Famer as a backup any day of the week.
Yeah, I just don't think he comes that.
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
But it comes with ego. Being being great, you have an ego. It's tough for guys to accept that role. So
yeah.
Will he? It's not that of course you would take a Hall of Fame backup. Shit, a lot of people would. Will he accept it? And can he stay healthy?
Well, that's the thing. I think that they come into it open competition. I don't think they come into it if they bring him in like, hey, you're definitely backing him up. I think they let him play it out. You know what I mean? And I think, listen, for a rookie, maybe that competition becomes good for him. Right? I'm not a rookie, a second-year guy. Maybe that competition is good for him. Maybe he needs that. And if he can't handle that, then maybe he's not built. Maybe he's not the guy anyway. Right? I mean, maybe he's not the guy anyway. If he can't handle that and can't handle a guy to learn from, because everything you hear about Peters is, he's there. Right? I mean, he's there to teach too. He helps big time in them roles. That's why they keep bringing him back too.
They love Jason Peters as a leader. I think they always have. That's why I said it yesterday, for people saying that we don't need him. Obviously, we hope that Dodd is ready to play, but I'm not going to throw Jason Peters away. If Jason Peters wants to come back, willing to take maybe an incentive-laden deal, I fucking bring him back in a second, in a heartbeat.
I'd bring him back. I'd bring him back for exactly what somebody would give him on the open market for a year just to be here because I already lost Vitae. I'm not in the business losing more linemen when I had a lot of injuries last year. So I can't plan on that all being healthy. And I think this is a smart organization when it comes to winning up front. And I think they realize that, hopefully. And that's the main reason why, because the guys that's been here forever, they expect a shortened offseason in some fashion. And hey, he already knows what we're doing here. Let's go. Because if not, then we're losing two guys. And
you know how it is, Tommy.
With 11's history, right? Getting banged up at times. You gotta be strong up there. That's why I would have given Vitae money, even though I understand it's too much. I would have just gave it because we're not deep after our starting five. We're not deep after that. And listen, that's a top 3 offensive line in football. But we know injuries. You need that somebody behind. I'm not Jordan Mailata. Grow up. You know what I mean?
It just might not fit what they're trying to do anymore because it looks, as we know, they're trying to get younger and faster, as we saw. You know what I mean? So it just might, from their eyes, they're just like, hey, it's time to turn the keys over to Dillard. But I hear you.
Yeah, and I totally agree. Tom, I'm right on board because we know one thing about football. Okay, you can't really predict injuries and everything, but guys get hurt. But the one thing about football is you win when you get to the quarterback and you keep your quarterback upright. You win football games. So if we're going to add to the D-line or O-line, I'm always in favor of doing that at all times. And what's up, Bryce? I see you down there. What's up? Offense will be fast. That's correct.
Yeah, I mean, you can't deny that. And I think when you have a guy like Carson Wentz, who in the similarities of like the Mahomes and the Wilsons of the world and guys like that who can extend plays, I think then when you bring speed, now that allows that big play to really start to happen at times. Right, because now you have guys who can go over the top. So when things break down, you have the ability to have somebody hit a home run. Right, you would hope. You know what I'm saying? So you would hope at some, that you have that part of your offense, which we missed obviously at the end of last year, big time. We had nobody to stretch the field. So I mean, now we have everybody that can at least run deep. So
yeah, that was me waving them deep.
Yeah, just go.
Yeah, and let's be honest, like just having guys that can get deep where you have to account for, it opens so much up for Ertz, who's arguably, maybe best top 2, top 3 tight end in football. Obviously, that's only going to help him because he's already awesome at getting open underneath. So it's only going to make his job even easier. Which I love people that want to trade Ertz. Stop it. Ertz probably catches 100 balls in this offense this year. At least he should. So. Well, I'm not trading Ertz. I think Dallas and Ertz should have big years with all this speed because there should be a lot of openings underneath, a lot of openings in the middle.
Oh yeah, a lot of cover twos, a lot of doubled over the top, especially if guys are if a couple home runs are completed, then all of a sudden that safety's rolling over the top, and there you go, and then now you got backside post, you got all kinds of stuff wide open.
Yep. And listen, now that's why
a lot of seam routes. Woo-hoo-hoo.
That's why, guys, I don't think you need that like outside physical receiver because of your tight ends. Because you have 2 tight ends. You know what I mean? So you can have the speed on the outside lined up with 2 tight ends. You know what I mean? So you don't need really that outside guy physicality wise because you have your underneath guys. So I mean, your point, Wells, is spot on, you guys, because now you have your guys, 15, 20-yard catches on plays that break down. And you have your guys that are home run guys on plays that break down. So that makes your offense right there way more explosive. So it's just can some of these guys stay healthy? Can guys get better? I mean, so much of this offense relies on Deshaun Jackson's health. This just this year, Deshaun Jackson's health and JJ Arcega-Whiteside taking a step, and it needs to be a big one, right? It can't be a baby one. We need a big step because if not, you can't put all of it in on a first round wide receiver either. They expect him year one just to come in everything.
No, you just hope for a couple of plays out of him. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
It's not fair. Like I expect production, but just not crazy. I don't expect like pro.
Yeah, some big plays. But
yeah, I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just don't expect first team all pro Jalen Reagor year one. So that's not fair. So I mean, I need a guy in year 2 now that you use second round pick on the wake up, grow up, and let's start playing like we thought you could
No,
play.
I think D-Jack is, like you said, is the key. I mean, it's the second part to that. I understand that people get better and they grow and stuff, but like, I mean, with how depleted they were at wide receiver last year, and you were Casper the Ghost, I'm not sure I'm not saying you. I don't know what I'm not saying anybody. Like you said, you'll take anything as gravy. I get that, but just not doing anything last year to me is mind-boggling. I don't care if you're a first-year guy or a sixth-year guy. Right? Look at the playbook, get on the field, get open, get some separation, and make some plays. You know what I mean? You don't have to have 1,000 yards. You didn't have to have 75 catches. You know what I mean? But it's like, wow, I don't know. I wouldn't expect anything from that dude. That would be.
It all starts though, Sweeps, and you guys are making the gesture. It all starts with the ball that hits you in the hands.
No. We're talking about pulses.
Well, that's
show
too.
pulse.
Now,
Well, that too. But
real quick, Greg,
the ball in Detroit that hit you right there in the wrist.
true, but to be fair, at the end he showed a little tiny pulse. At the very end, he showed a little bitty pulse. Yeah, he had a big catch to start off that Cowboys game. That's a semi-pulse.
Yeah, no, I mean, but you're
Not
right.
a big one. I mean, he didn't do anything else the rest of the game.
Then he went back to filling up the Gatorade jug.
Yeah, but there was a semi-pulse for a second.
The Sweeps, to your point though, you're right.
Jug's empty.
If that situation happened in the beginning of the year and he couldn't find his way on the field because of a learning curve, understand, right? But the second half of the year, the fourth quarter of the year, there's no excuse why, if you're an NFL wide receiver and you've been on the active roster from day one, that you can't pick up a playbook and get on the field.
Stop, not at all. We're reading, and we didn't even get the reading comments. We're just showing everything right now.
We see it. We see it.
Wills, you might need to hard line in, babe.
Am I breaking up?
Yeah. I mean, you'll hear it on the replay.
I don't know what that was right there, but
Well, I mean,
What's up, Gongos?
I'll hard line in for you.
Hey, happy birthday to Chuck Wagon. All right, I got you, brother.
Christopher Moser, they have overall better talent, nothing to do with Dalton. When he's talking about, he said the Cowboys on paper at the moment, you should have taken a linebacker second round. Yeah, but on paper, you might say the Cowboys offense is better. Obviously, I think that's fair.
Yeah, I don't think that's a stretch. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how that all plays out, but on paper, it's not fair. I mean, I'm a jerk off if I go running around acting like our offense on paper is better right now.
I think they were 1-2 with the Ravens last year as having the top offense, at least yardage wise, and they were 8-8. We know how that plays out. So
yeah, I don't think they can stop beating you right now. I don't. Their defense is not as good. Let's be real. Our defense is way better than their defense right now. On paper, way better. They have too many holes in the secondary. You can't have that many holes. I mean,
I think they lost a lot with their line too. To me, that center, Travis Frederick, huge loss. That's a huge loss.
That's the only real hole. You're right.
I know that they drafted a center that we think is a good player. Yeah. But still, he's a rookie. You got to expect there's a learning curve there because Travis Frederick is arguably the best center in football. So, I mean, that's a huge loss for them. And still, I think Dak is a good player. I don't think Dak is a top 10 quarterback in this league. I think he's outside the top 10. And so I'm not that – I think they're the second best team in the division. I still think we're better than them. I think their offense is scary. I think the defense does not scare me. I'm not scared of the Cowboys. I'll be honest with you. I'm really not. I think they're a good team. I think we can beat them.
Yeah, no, I think we can beat them too. My thing is now they did address the cornerback position in the draft with Diggs, and I like that pick. And to me, they had a good draft.
Mm-hmm.
And I like
a very good draft.
I like the draft a lot, but at the end of the day, I still believe it rolls with good defenses and quarterback play. So as long as 11's healthy and upright, we're better than them. Now the question I asked Greg, I said, would you have just not drafted Hurts in the second round, just signed Dalton for a 1-year deal and just tried to draft an impact player 53 since you had the likes of J.K. Dobbins on the board and other guys that were like early second round?
AJ Penza.
Right?
It's common sense for people that obviously can see their hand in front of them. That's really, I mean, we're going back to 2 weeks later, but that's the thing, you know what I mean? You're gonna have half the group, you know, half the percentage or whatever it is. I'm hearing a lot of Jalen Hurts is great talk. I can't. All right. But forget about where he was picked. All right. Forget about the story. Forget about it is what it is. So you're going to have half of those people, and you're going to have the people that can see their hand and say, yeah, there was a ton of talent on the board at that spot, much needed positions of need.
I don't know how you pay. Like, I just listen. You can like the kid. You can love the kid. He's a great athlete. There's no taking anything away from that. Okay. But whatever the case may be, when you're in win now mode, you know, I mean, if you do draft it, the kid's got to be able to play. You know, if you're going that route, I mean, talk about having 2 top 10 quarterbacks in the league, right? Just stop. Just stop. I want one. I'm not worried about the second one yet. Now, I understand the injury concerns. So if you want to develop a kid, fine. When you're in win now mode and all that falls to you, I get it. How he fell in love. That's fine. But, to tie into something else, I don't think Carson Wentz should be concerned or will be concerned at all, because I think he owns this locker room right now from the way he finished the season last year. Without you take away the concussion, the way he carried a bunch of nobodies, you win over the defense side of the football big time with the way you performed, down the stretch. So, and I think you win over a whole locker room. If you didn't have them, you definitely have them now. Now, listen, would I maybe rather have Jalen Hurts than Nate Sudfeld roll out there if Carson went down? Probably, because I'm not a Nate Sudfeld guy. I think there's more. Obviously, Jalen Hurts has more talent, so maybe extend the play or two or something that Nate Sudfeld can't do. So, I guess I'll go that route and being okay with it because he's now got it. I sort of have to be. Like, now they're forcing me to have to be okay with it, even though I don't want to be. Make sense? Because he's like, I don't want to shit on the kid anymore. So
when you're ready, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying I trust Carson so much that I'm tired of worrying about like the whole reason I brought it up is I'm tired of hearing about the conversation. I trust in 11 that much that I'm not even worried about it. I hope Jalen Hurts can become a good quarterback. Just God forbid he goes down. So I'm gonna root for the kid and get off of my concerns with it, because I have a lot of concerns with him about being a quarterback at the West Coast offense. Now, Vaughn said yesterday, you cater an offense to when he comes in, you cater an offense to him. Fair enough. I think this coaching staff is smart enough to cater offenses. We've seen it. So, okay, I'll try to just be like, okay, I'm just going to be good with it. I'm not going to get mad about it anymore because I believe that much in 11 that I'm not going to get mad about it anymore. It's not.
Well, you can't. Yeah, I mean, you can't change it. And that's all we're trying to. It's over with now. So, it's all about where it was picked. And when you're in win now, you can go to the other 3 franchises and just use that example. Like, everybody feels like they're ready to win now. So that's like the Flyers taking a goalie 3rd overall because Hart maybe gets banged up a little bit, or the Sixers taking a center because JoJo's never play is banged up a lot. So you can't just draft, for injury. I'm not saying that's the only thing they did for it, but if that's, like you address that stuff later on, depth, depth is huge. We know that. We understand the injury factor in all sports, but you address that later. You don't address that at 53. That's all.
You address it in the 3rd round. You address it in the 3rd round because a quarterback wasn't taken for another 70+ picks. So it's like, you drafted in the 3rd round or however many picks. How many picks was it? 50? It was a lot of picks.
Not even the 3rd round. You don't even do it.
It was almost 2 full rounds.
Yeah. Well, it's like I don't do it in the 2nd or 3rd, but I mean, okay, if you want to try to develop a guy and you want talent, the earlier you do it, the better. So, but I don't want it in the 2nd, not with all that on the board, and not the way the quarterback dropped. If there was like a run of quarterbacks, then go ahead, bro. But there wasn't. So draft the best player on the board at that point. And to me, it wasn't him at the time, especially when you're in win now mode, because win now mode is here. The window to win is another Super Bowl is here. It doesn't say open forever. You know what I mean? With this group of guys, your window's right now. So, you draft a player to win one right now. Would J.K. Dobbins be better than would you have more confidence in Miles Sanders and J.K. Dobbins?
Yes.
I mean, I would think this offense is even better.
Absolutely.
Now I'm like, hey, Cowboys, hey, Dallas, hold the beer, because we're better. That's how I feel about that pick, because I think having the two backs and the ability of the change of pace makes you.
The draft is so important. And there was other options. There was other options for him to address the backup quarterback position. When you're talking about somebody holding the clipboard, and hopefully they don't get on the field. And if they do get on the field, right, can they learn the system? Can they be a good locker room guy? And can they find a way to still win some games? All right, when if 11, knock on wood, went down. All right, and there was other options. Whether you're talking about Dalton, Winston, Cam, and there's guys that played and it's been in the NFL already established.
Mm-hmm.
However,
to me, it's simple. It's real easy to me. It's we said this last week and reiterated it again. It's just there's too many guys available when you're trying to win now, and you don't need a quarterback for us to take a quarterback. And this is no shot at Jalen Hurts. I hope he becomes a great quarterback, and maybe we can trade him or something. But to me, it's just it's a reach at a bad time when you got guys on the board that can help you win immediately that are going to play. Right now, you drafted a guy who probably doesn't help this team for at least 2 seasons. You would think. At least you hope that our quarterback our star quarterback stays healthy and he doesn't have to help this team for 2 seasons. So that's why it's a bad pick. I don't care what anyone says. And on top of that, he's a guy who in the biggest game of his life got pulled at halftime. That's just fact. So there's nothing else you can say.
No, you're absolutely right. And the other side that, not to keep harping on it, but he's not a pro-style quarterback. So to your right, Tom, what Vaughn said yesterday is, if you want him to succeed, you got to put him in packages to succeed. But that also means now when he's in the game, you're predictable. You know what I mean? Like
I said, I messed up.
And your best player's not in the game.
It's not like you took a Jacob Eason or James Morgan or Jake Fromm who have similar traits to Carson, to where if they were to come in the game, even as a backup or whatever, you wouldn't be as predictable as, okay, here comes some RPOs, here comes some moving the pocket stuff, here comes some direct runs from the quarterback, that type of stuff that he does well. Yep. Now you're predictable, and I think that's part of that. That's part of that reach factor at 53. It's not like he's a pro-style quarterback in which you have a pro-style quarterback room right now.
Well, let's go. Let's go.
That's why the Wildcat went away, because gadgets go away after people figure out how to stop them.
Well, let me just rewind. Let's rewind. If you, like I said, I messed up the other day because I said it was the Andre Dillard draft. I don't know why, but. You traded out of the first round with the Ravens, and they selected Lamar Jackson. If there's a year that you were like a little concerned about injury, wouldn't it have been that year? If you wanted to be a quarterback factory, I'm just saying.
Coming off the Super Bowl where he was hurt.
Yeah,
but at that point, though, we have Wentz, who's young and obviously coming off injury, and we have Foles, who just won a Super Bowl. So it's tough. I hear you. It's tough to say that, though.
No, I don't agree. Listen, I'm saying if they're so adamant about being the factory.
Oh, you just hate that comment. The QB factory comment's a terrible comment.
Listen, the worst comment of all time. The guy never factoried anything. He has no responsibility for a factory. So I said the Vaughn agreed with me the other day, and you guys all agreed. Like, what is he? He's taking credit for Andy Reid's success. Knock it off. Not
even that. We haven't developed any quarterback. Yeah. We've drafted quarterbacks in the last couple of drafts. Where are they? They're not here.
I'm saying all the
Sudfeld. Apparently, we're throwing Sudfeld away. Obviously, right? So there's another one, Thorson. He clearly didn't work. So we've drafted QBs. It's just, I guess we got to draft them in the first or second round for the factory to work properly. That's all.
No, yeah. That's the only reason. You got to trade up, get one first or second, and then you're now officially a QB factory. It's just a joke of a comment. Because the guy hasn't developed this quarterback. Now, do I have confidence in Doug Pederson to develop first, second round pick quarterbacks? Absolutely. But I don't know where Howie Roseman makes it out that there's been this track record of it, outside of Carson. Now, listen, at the end of the day, like I said, it's Carson Wentz's team. I don't care where they're picking quarterbacks at anymore. It's a dumb pick because there's other positions that you needed at the time. All right, there just is. So it's a dumb pick, but I still believe, and I believe it's his locker room. And I feel like with the weapons that Howie Roseman went out and tried to address in terms of speed, is going to make this a top 10 offense. And him, if he stays upright, which I believe he will, have an ability to have an MVP type season in 2020. Because we've already seen it when he has weapons. He his game shines too. We seen it without weapons, his game shine at the end of last year. So, I mean, we put weapons around him. We saw that act. We saw that act in 2017. We saw that act week 1 against the Redskins with Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey. We saw that act. In the second half, it was boom, explosive. Here we go. You know what I mean? Starting to get a chemistry with a guy. So we seen him upright with talent.
Yeah, there's no denying his talent. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he has nothing to worry about. This is his locker room. They gave him a ton of money, which makes me not understand the pick. And it circles us all the way back to like, hey, Dobbins, Penza, whoever the hell you wanted that was first, second round grades sitting right there, right, could make this football team better. That's all. Make this football team better. Now, we were on the rundown the other day. Zach asked this question I want to ask you guys, or it might have been the rundown. I think it was. Eagles, who's going to have a better 2020 year? Eagles offense or defense? Which one do you have more confidence in?
Ooh.
Family, let us know. Which one?
I'm going to say defense at the moment. And to me, strictly, I know everyone's talking about the receivers, but to me, this is a humongous year for Miles Sanders because we haven't really addressed a backup. I know we got Boston Scott who made some plays at the end of the year, but Boston Scott's an undrafted free agent. I mean, what can you really expect out of the kid? I like what he showed, but we got to see. We got to see a lot more of it, obviously. And second-year backs have been known to fall off cliffs on occasion. It's a big year for Miles. Miles becomes an elite option. Our offense will be really good because obviously we're going to have more wide receiver weapons than we had at the end of the year last year. That's just guys, we can't be that hurt again. It's not possible with the options we've picked up. So we're going to have more wide receiver options. I'm not worried about Carson throwing the ball. I'm more worried about us running the football.
So
no, absolutely. I think there's probably obviously more question marks on the offensive side. I hear you. You know what I mean? So, you lose Malcolm on defense. I get that. There's some guys changing positions. You'd feel a lot more comfortable if you had Queen or Murray roam in the middle. I'll tell you that right now. But I think if you ask me of the two, you have a little more confidence, probably maybe in the defense at this point.
Yeah, I was on the defense. Greg.
Yeah, I lean defense as well, and that's shocking because I still think we have a bunch of guys that are in the middle in the linebacker core. But I look at our strength at now with Slay at the cornerback position, and when you team up Fletch, BG, Hargraves, now it allows Malik Jackson to either take some less snaps or move into another position. I just look at those two positions right now as strengths. And then even the back secondary, the safeties, yeah, we got a bunch of guys on 1-year deals, but they're all guys that have shown that they can play at this level in some capacity. So it's now just about making that fit. So I would agree with the defense.
Yeah, I'm on the defense because just things you just said now, because listen, you went up front and this line's loaded. Malik Jackson had one of his best years in Jacksonville when he played more DN, when he slid out more. He had the ability to just, and then when you put it, everything revolves around Fletcher Cox. So when you have to double Fletcher and you got these other guys that can get to the quarterback, this line's loaded. Now, would I like to see maybe, like an Everson Griffin brought in? Yeah, I would like to see something like that. Just one more guy that can get after it. I think we all agree there. But, talk about Slay, huge acquisition. To a secondary that needed a guy who was a big play guy. Well, his name's Big Play Slay. So, I mean, you got now the biggest addition to me isn't even Slay. It's Roby Coleman. Because when you can go out and get the best guy in his position, and arguably in the National Football League at the slot position, right, that makes your defense automatically better. Because you got to be able to defend the slot to win in this league. You have to defend the slot to win. I think that's the biggest addition that I forget about sometimes. Roby Coleman, huge addition. And then now it allows whoever that other guy is going to be on the other side. If it's Sidney Jones, if it's, I don't know, Rasul Douglas, whoever, Cravion LeBlanc, I don't give a crap. Whoever it is, it allows a little less pressure on that guy, right? And now you go in the back end like you talked about, Rodney McLeod. I trust Rodney. Jalen, I don't know how I trust him at safety. We're going to find out. But I think he's going to be more of an over-top guy, more of a center field type. So hopefully it plays out for him. Obviously, Kavon Wallace, I like that addition. It's a big time addition because I have him as a third-round guy. You got him in the fourth, but he's not going to come in and start right away. Will Parks, good backup. So I mean, to me, It's
Can they
deeper.
help the team? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just more vets. There's more vets over on that side of the football.
A lot of pieces, a lot more pieces.
Yeah, and it's the only thing we didn't talk about the linebacker position. Okay, well, listen, the guy you got from San Diego, Brown, he showed he can have 90 tackles in a year, so he's gonna play. Davion Taylor, you're drafting a guy in the 3rd round in a position in need, who's a speed guy and can hit you. Probably gonna play some outside linebacker, I'm sure, and gonna have a chance to win that job because there's nobody else. And then it's who's your middle guy, and you're gonna get a little Nate Gary mixed in, but who's your middle? That's going to be
people want to hate on Nate Gary, but Nate Gary got better as the year went on last year, and that's just fact.
Yeah, as an outside linebacker.
End of the year, he played pretty well outside.
Yep.
Beginning of the year, he was rough.
No, I think Davion Taylor's got a chance to play a lot outside too. I think it's going to be like,
well, with his speed, yes, he will absolutely will.
3 rotating through. Now, who's your middle guy? That's going to be the biggest question mark for the rest of this offseason. Is who's the middle guy? Is it the guy you draft Sean Bradley out of Temple? Is it Craig's boy? Right, Craig?
That's what I was actually just pulling up right now, just to see where they have people marked. And yeah, you're right. As of right now, it's Nate Gary and Duke Riley on the outside, just because it's now, right? And then my boy TJ in the middle, being backed up by Sean Bradley.
Yeah, not that Sean Bradley.
Yeah, Sean Bradley.
But
you're right though, Tom. You would think if you picked a guy.
Brown and Taylor.
Yeah, the backups to those two, Gary and Riley, are Brown and Taylor. Yeah.
Yeah, the other outside guys.
Yep.
Outside guys. Yep. And then your 2 middles.
And then you have Alex Singleton on the roster as well.
I don't know who the hell that is.
Yeah, no one does.
We have enough guys that we don't know who the hell they are. At the linebacker. Really don't need more. I mean, I'm hanging hope on Davion Taylor to get snapped and hit somebody in the face. It's getting bad. But I do like the speed there. I just would, be more comfortable if Nigel was back for another year. But, we'll find out what direction they go. I mean, Sean Bradley can play a little bit. I see him play at Temple a little bit. I mean, but again, you're relying on a late pick like that to come in and be impactful. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot to worry about. And
and it's like we said with the expectations of Reagor, right? I mean, obviously, being from South Jersey, going to Temple, he's a tough kid. Hopefully he can bring something to special teams. But you're right. Do we expect him to jump in as a 6th round pick and give us any type of true impact? I would love it, because that means maybe we actually finally found something. But yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I agree with you.
Dean Jones, where do you rank our linebackers for the upcoming season? And can we still upgrade? I mean, the only upgrade you can do is like a Nigel, just from a comfortability standpoint.
Yeah, because we looked Wednesday. There was nothing else out there, Tommy.
Nothing.
Like maybe a Mark Barron kind of hybrid type guy. But again, don't we have enough of those hybrid type guys on this roster right now?
And they're younger. Yeah.
It's not the outside, it's the middle, right? So it's
not
the outside. It's just really, because the outside is what it is right now. That's what you're going to run with. So you got Brown. That's why they went out and got Brown to play the one outside. And I guess they believe in Nate Gary a little bit. And then they got Davion Taylor because they don't believe in Nate Gary that much. And then, who's your middle guy? And that's a question mark we're going to run with until the start of camp, whenever that starts. So I just can't, I think I like Sean Bradley, but I'm not putting confidence into that right now.
No, absolutely. But that's you're right though. To that comment, that's how pathetic our linebackers is. Our middles right now are an undrafted free agent and a 6th round pick rookie.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not hanging my hat on that.
So from a powerhouse Temple.
Yeah. Who Matt Spillman says, he stinks. So, there's people out there that probably watch him more than me, and we're Temple guys, and said he stinks. So Cannell says, who's that last guy we drafted, the edge player? But I heard he could play linebacker from
Casey Tuhill or something like that.
They're late, Cannell. I can't expect any impact. Now, one guy you can say, hopefully you can get something from in a backup role is like a Jannard Avery, who you traded a pick for last year. And, if you want to talk about like you want them backup role guys to come in for a couple snaps here and there, maybe go into the quarterback, but you can't rely on a guy pretty much undrafted in the 7th round to be an impact guy for me at all. You got to hope that you got to hope like Josh Sweat and Jannard Avery can bring something as a backup role, because they're who your deep guys are. If you don't go out and get anybody, it's not, the guy from Stanford might not even make the team.
You just wonder what discussion goes on. I know it was remotely, but like leading up to it, like listen to the discussion we're having. about the linebacker position. And what kind of conversation were the football guys having? I mean, just to me, when you have two monsters right there, I understand Will throws the stat out. I haven't drafted a guy since 1970. That's great. We're not talking about facts or statistics or when something happened. We're just talking about Queen and Murray right there. We're talking about how bad the linebacker core. Understand wide receiver, huge need as well. Right, and there's no reason to go back. It can't go back anymore. I'm just saying, like, the conversation that we're having. I mean, how can it not have been? And I'm not saying it wasn't, but geez and crackers.
Well, to your point, though, I don't think it did happen because they don't even value it.
Greg, you know what's funny? Guys, you know what's funny? NFL.
Not just to Wilson's point.
NFL top 100's on, right? And they're like, all the guys are in there and they're talking about, each other. And you look at how many linebackers are in that room. They're having conversations in terms of the likes of Lawrence. Now I'm not going here. I'm just saying the likes of Lawrence Taylor and Ray Lewis and how, great linebackers and great defenses win Super Bowls, right? So all my point is okay, I'm not saying Patrick Queen's Ray Lewis, you know what I mean? Or Lawrence Taylor. I'm not going there. I'm just saying the guy can flat out play. And I know for a fact is better than Jalen Reagor. And right now, I know for a fact is better. Now, you went need, and both are needs. But the one need you just don't value at all, and it is what it is. And I'm going to root for the guy I have now. But at the end of the day, I think you look back on this and realize, you know what? Maybe if I was a little bit more aggressive too. Maybe if I came back in for Murray, you know what I mean? Maybe if I used some of my picks and try getting back in the first round for Murray if I couldn't get Queen to try to address two needs then. Right? And use high value picks on needs because you have a better chance of hitting that way than you do. All right, well, we're going to wait for other needs in the 5th, 6th round. That's a joke. That's a flat out joke. Okay? Defense, every sport, win up the middle. Every sport, I win up the damn middle. So I need tackles, I need middle linebacker, and I need safety play. All right? It all works. You listen to Ray Lewis talk about him and Ed Reed's relationship on Ray biting routes and trusting Ed behind him. So, I mean, the winning is up the middle defensively. You trust tackles so much, you don't trust linebacker?
No, you're absolutely right, Tommy. And even same thing outside of those names, you look at like Urlacher, Kuechly's, Khalil Mack's. Like you're telling me those guys that were drafted at those positions. And again, Mike Singletary. Like they transformed defenses that allowed these teams to win. So, like, you're right. We draft Kenneth Murray and he turns into Luke Kuechly. Like that wouldn't be a good thing for this defense.
Our New York Jets defense looked like world beaters at the beginning of last year before C.J. Mosley went down.
Yep.
When you go out and you address a linebacker position and you get an upgrade, then our offense wasn't good enough. But defensively, they looked good early on with C.J. Mosley. And you could see his impact right away. Right away. Okay, so it's a flat out joke that you just don't want to address it ever. Who the hell do you think you are? You say you owe it to your team. You said you owe it to your team to have depth at positions, right? You said you owe it to your team, which means when you talk about Jalen Hurts, right? You said you owe it to your team. Okay, grow up, Peter Pan. You owe it to your team to address starters. Okay, you owe it to your team not to have holes of undrafted guys and 5th, 6th round picks in positions that are big time needs to win in the National Football League. Yep. Big time. Because Nigel Bradham, say what you want, had a really good year in 2017. A really good year, tackled in open space. Had a really good year. Never a really good year after, but had a really good year in 2017. So if you evaluate it a little bit, you get results. And you're going to come in this year like this? And the Chargers come back up for Murray. But Jalen Hurts is more important than Murray. I don't want to hear about, we should have used 53 to go get CeeDee Lamb. Okay, I'll take Jalen Reagor. He's my guy now. Screw CeeDee Lamb. He's a Cowboy. I'm over it now. Now I don't like a guy. All right? But
hate him.
We could have came up with a second and one of our 25 fourths back into the first round probably. All right? And then got a guy like Murray. We could have came back in. But no, we're going to value a backup quarterback over the middle linebacker position.
Yeah.
And I don't like Murray as much as I love Queen. I'm just making a point, though. If I can come back and get the second best linebacker in the draft.
Yeah, 2 studs.
Yeah, late there. I mean, sign me up. So, come on. I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke. I can't do it anymore with this guy. I mean, that's why he's not on a hot seat because he keeps going to the playoffs. So as long as they keep going to the playoffs, he ain't on a hot seat. That's an every 2-year extension, in my opinion, every time you go to the dance. You keep going to the dance.
And he's got a bowl, so.
And you get a bowl. Well, a bowl gives you 5 automatically. It's like a 5-year
Even from a GM, a coach, I would agree. Even from a GM, though.
If you win a Super Bowl,
he made a lot of good moves that year, Greg.
No. I completely understand what you mean. I'm just saying, to me, a GM has a shorter leash because we obviously want to get back there. You know what I mean? So, like, if you're right, coach automatically 5 years, whatever, absolutely. We want it. Cool. To me, I give a GM 3 years because if we have a team that won the Super Bowl and we can't get back there with a lot of that same team, then what are you doing wrong then, pal?
Yeah, I agree with you to a point, but I still think he gets a 3-year jump guaranteed after the bowl at least.
Yeah.
And then every time he goes to the playoffs, I mean, you can add another 2 on, in my opinion, because you're winning games still. Now, at some point, the draft can start biting you in the ass. At some point, it'll creep up on you. At some point. So, you can't keep reaching and not hitting and expect to keep your job either.
Well, it goes back to that window you said, like, like every year you play for championships. I mean, you just play for the playoffs. I mean, it's great to get in because it's the only chance once you get in, you have a shot. All right. But, everybody should, it's a failed season for everybody if you don't win the championship. That's the way I look at it. Now, there's obviously other teams that are complete buns, and we understand they have no chance.
Yeah.
All right, but if you're a big-time, organization, big market, you should play for championships every year, not just, for a winning record and to get in the playoffs. Right? That goes to Greg's point. Like, I'll cut your head off, right? If you're not, I don't care about, 10-6, 11-5, first-round playoff win. Like, it's about chips.
No, absolutely is. Read some of these comments real quick. Anthony 80s, I think Howie's waiting because a lot of teams are releasing players talking about the middle linebacker position. And that's always a way to semi-address it, Band-Aid it, duct tape it maybe.
One team's garbage, another team gold.
I was going to say, that's a Band-Aid in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a Band-Aid. Cannell says, I think Jannard Avery is great depth at edge. I'm not, when you're talking about them backups, you just have a motor. As long as you have a little motor, I'll take it.
Yeah, he's currently the backup to BG is how they have it listed.
Where we at? What do you say, Christopher? Yup, total crap depending on late picks to be impacted players. Yeah, you can't rely on that and expect to win consistently. You're just not. Nobody does it. They do it well on the offensive line. They've been known to draft well late in drafts, but I mean, outside of that, they haven't been known to draft well at any position.
And that's also why you can't completely base a grade off of just your day 3 picks. You know what I mean? Like, for someone, great in Howie, it's like, oh, yeah, he might have had a really good third day. But what is third day picks really getting you as from an impact standpoint?
Grow up here, man. A good third day. Nobody knows what day 3 is. The guys who are evaluating these players don't even know who the hell they're talking about.
When to some people you missed on picks 1, 2, and 3, you better have had a good day 3.
If we weren't in quarantine, we wouldn't even have watched day 3.
Nope.
Let
me tell you something. You can't, like you said, Marlon says, I think we need new blood at the GM position. It would be beneficial. Listen, draft-wise, I think we need new blood. In terms of free agency and in terms of handling the cap, I mean, I love Howie in that. But in terms of the draft, he just swings and misses early too much. Wayne Thompson, how long has Howie been our GM? What's it? Oh,
I'll look it up.
It's hard because you got to.
If you take out the chip years,
the chip year
since 2011, I think. But there's 2 chip years.
2010 to 14.
4. Okay.
2010 to 14, and then 16 through current is when he got it back.
So 8.
9 years. He's been there 9 years.
Maybe my math is off. I thought that was 4 and 4.
Well, you got to actually count the 10. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah. So 9 years.
All right. I feel like that math was way off. But okay, yeah. I mean, 8.
No, it's not. If you say 10 to 14, it's not 4 like you're doing regular math. You have to actually count the 10. So it's 5. 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14. 5 years.
Come on, Tommy. For the other one.
Wake the fuck up.
16,
17, 18, 19. 4 years. 9 years total. Quick math.
But
Let's go.
here's
20.
his,
Let's go.
20, quick math, genius. 20. Where you at 19? It's 2020.
here's his full
Yeah,
rundown.
2020 hasn't happened yet, dummy. 2019 was the last season.
Oh my God.
Okay, so we're counting. Okay, so 10. This is his 10th year.
Here's his full rundown. From 2000 to 2002, he was the salary cap staff counsel. So he's been with the team for
He's been our
20
GM
years.
for 9 years.
10.
Three
This
to
is
five
his
is the
10th year.
football administrator. So yeah, he's been here for 20 years.
Just went through an all season and a draft plus. Been here for 20 years. I mean, been here for 10.
Oh my God.
I mean, we're gonna argue this.
I mean, if you count, you're going to count that. That's fine.
Well, I mean, if it hadn't, we're not gonna count what just happened.
I count the games. Games haven't been played yet.
Don't play the games. You just put the roster together for the game, jackass.
Yeah, but that's a big part of it.
Oh,
The season just started a month ago, and we're in quarantine. We're really going to count that?
Matt Smillen, and you got to hit it 100% in the first 3 rounds. No excuses. Yeah, maybe not 100, but
Yeah, 85%. You would hope.
Prism trade.
At least 75.
Well, if you hit 2 out of the 3, if that's 67%.
Yeah, well, 2 out of 3 back-to-back years is 75, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Or no, it'd still be 66. Well, we'll see. Maybe 2 out of 3 and 1 out of 3. Then it's like 50%.
Zach just punches in the neck. Can we do shapes tomorrow?
Clever.
Color.
Tell him to do it from his bedroom.
Coloring inside the lines.
Chica, give a little shout out. There we go. Musab, we might pick some.
Yeah.
Know Howie had a fucking draft, but I want Howie to stay. Yeah, I mean, I'm good. I'm on board with that. You know, I liked when Joe Douglas was here. I was a little bit more comfortable, and I'm not even Mr. Joe Douglas, but at least, I felt a little bit more comfortable about my draft room.
Yeah, he just hasn't had a very good. I mean, if you look at the history, he just hasn't drafted very well. That's just fact. He has done a good job with free agents, and when we won the Super Bowl, he did a great job with free agents because we had some guys that really played well that were small gets, LeGarrette Blount, Chris Long, guys that played really well as small additions. So
Robinson,
he's great at that.
So he did really, and Patrick Robinson, that's a great call. So it's tough to say because he has not done a good job drafting, but he's done a good job elsewhere, pretty much everywhere else. Just has not done a good job drafting.
No, you're spot on. Wayne,
we're hoping now. This is Reagor's a big pick for him.
Yep.
Hurts is going to end up being a big pick, but as of the way this pans out, because you took Hurts in the second round, now they're hoping Reagor better perform.
No, you're right.
If he doesn't perform, then you're like, fuck, and you wasted your second round on a quarterback that's not going to play. So
you're right. You're right. You can't do that. You can't miss the first 2 either. Wayne says he must be doing something right, otherwise he wouldn't be here for 9-10 years. Yeah, he does do stuff right. He won a Super Bowl because he's great at free agency. He's great at the cap. Nobody's ever going to deny that. Nobody's ever going to deny that.
And what he did, too, is he used, again, another skill in working his trades. And he was able to work his trade craft to get up to number 2 and allow himself to draft Carson Wentz. Where he couldn't miss on that. You know what I mean?
No, you can't miss on that. Dean Jones seems like talent-wise, we've been standing still while the rest of the NFC East have been leapfrogging. Maybe draft-wise, Dean, but not all season. Not when you go out and get Slay and you go out and you get Hargrave. To me, they're 2 big additions.
Roby Coleman.
To me, you're getting your talent's going up. It's just in a different way.
Listen, we definitely we've definitely upgraded our defense and we've upgraded our offense. So I mean, Dean, I'm going to disagree with you here. Now we haven't made the sexy. Everyone's high on CeeDee Lamb. Everyone's not high on the sexy moves. Maybe we haven't made the sexy moves, but we've made moves to make our offense better. We were lacking speed. We have great tight ends already who already get open. We're lacking speed to give them even more room, and we added the speed. So I mean, we have done what we wanted to do. Maybe it's not the sexy move, but we've done what we wanted to do, and our defense has definitely gotten better. We've added the number 1 corner, which we've been waiting for years for.
Yeah.
And the guy who takes the football away, we talked about it. I think we have more ball hawks out there because you would think like moving Jalen to safety and not having Rodney have to play over top, and Rodney can play more in the box a little bit more. I think that helps your defense out a ton. But we talked the Eagles for a while, so let's transition here, and I want to run through our top 10 sports movies of all time, fam. Now, I actually have like 12, but they're in no specific order, and there's even more. I could do a list of like 25 easy on this.
I want to say one thing before we start. I'm grouping all the Rocky movies together.
One, yeah,
minus number 5, obviously.
Fair.
But all the Rocky movies are grouped together to me.
My
I'm not going to give you different ones.
My ring's outside.
So I'll just run through them.
Ding.
Ding. Hour mark, I pee. So let me just run through before I pee real quick here. Now, no order, Wills. All right, I just throw them together.
No order.
Well, I mean, it's a semi-order-ish, but at the end, there's really no order. My favorite 3 are in order, if that's fair. And then it sort of just goes like where some are interchangeable. You know what I mean?
Well, we'll say them.
But Major League's my favorite one. Major League's number 1 to me. Always be.
It's in the top 10.
It has my heart. It always have my heart. And there's always arguments, where it stands. But to me, personally, it's got my heart.
You can include Major League 2 with that.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Once you get past Major League 2, the other ones, fuck them. The 2 that came out in the same time period.
You know what?
Like 90 and 92.
Minor league?
Shut up.
That's terrible.
You're the only person who would like the minor league.
Terrible
You're
movie.
the only guy touching that shit.
Jake Taylor's back, though. Come on.
Drink jacked up for Jake. Take the booty, Jake. You're up the bat. But yeah, Major League.
Downtown Anderson? Come
Jerry
on.
Maguire's my second one. I
You may run like Mays, but you hit like shit.
love me some Jerry Maguire. All right. Love me a little.
That's a good pick. Jerry Maguire is a good pick. That's like it is a sports movie, so it works.
It is. He Got Game is my third. I love He Got Game.
Okay.
Love it.
All right. Wow, I didn't put He Got Game in my top 10, and now I'm feeling real upset about it. That's a good movie.
Love it.
It's a good movie.
I got a favorite. favorite.
Jesus Shuttlesworth. Jesus motherfucking Shuttlesworth.
And then I got Daddy Denzel and the combo punch. I'll never forget the combo punch outside the school. It was I'll never forget.
I just did it.
I love it. I love that movie. Now I start just throwing them around. I love Any Given Sunday. Willie.
Good movie.
Demon Bean.
Leave the ladies.
Yeah,
All the fans. I got them screaming.
Bull Durham on my list.
Ooh. Bull Durham's definitely on the list.
Caddyshack on my list.
Caddyshack's definitely on the list.
Rocky's obviously on my list. Field of Dreams is on my list. I get a little long.
Field of Dreams is a classic.
Remember the Titans, Happy Gilmore, Hoosiers, sort of rounds out that list of like 12-ish. But, because there's so many. There's even more. I mean, I left out a ton of movies that I love.
Yeah, I had two honorable mention myself.
It's hard because I love so many of these.
It's very tough.
Mystery Alaska. Mystery Alaska
is a great movie.
One of the best ones.
A great movie.
Yeah, that's a great movie. That's a great movie.
I could easily. I could entertain.
I'm not beaten.
love Mystery Alaska. Yep.
Dude, the diving into the pond.
What does he say? I like to play hockey and fornicate because it's the 2 best things to do in the cold.
Let me ask you a question.
Skank Martin.
Any arguments? Top 3? Like any big time arguments with that or issues?
To me, I'm going Rocky. Rocky gets my
list. Sorry, I like Moneyball too.
Rocky gets my 1. It gets number 1 for me, and that I'm talking like Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4 mainly, just because I love all 4 of them.
Well, I'm saying, do you have any debate with my first 3 though? Like big time debate? You have any issue?
Not terribly.
Really. I mean, I don't think
Sandlot's in my top 10. Just nostalgically, I love the Sandlot. It's still, if you watch it today, it still plays great like it played when you were a kid. Big Sandlot fan. So that's in my top 10. I'm not a Remember the Titans guy. The movie itself is pretty good. The football scenes turn me off because they're fucking horrendous. So it makes me not like the movie. The program is just outside my top 10. Love the program. Okay, put the women in the bed and go looking for fucking dinner. Okay, the program is very solid.
I was shocked it wasn't in Tommy.
I'm a humongous Slapshot fan.
Now it's time to go to bed.
Slapshot's in my top 3.
It's time to go to bed.
I love. We're putting the tin on. I love Slapshot.
Slapshot's good. Yeah, I mean, I personally didn't have. Like you will see. I completely forgot about He Got Game.
That's a good one.
It's a really good one. I probably have more hockey movies because I think they're. I like Miracle.
Miracle's just outside my top 10, but that's a very good movie.
And I'm a Mighty Ducks guy. I've always been a Mighty Ducks guy. You can just give me one, or you can give me the whole series.
Quack, 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 Mr.
Quack,
Ducksworth.
quack, quack, Mr. Ducksworth. Imagine playing goalie with old copies of the Inquirer taped to your shins.
Fucking Gordon Bombay. I hear you.
Those are some of the ones that haven't been mentioned yet, because all the other ones being mentioned, they're all there.
To me, like I love the Rocky movies. This nostalgia for me, and they're great films, so they're my number one. But like then there's a lot of interchangeable, like Caddyshack's spectacular. If you're looking more comedy, Caddyshack absolutely spectacular.
Yeah.
If you're looking more like golf with a little comedy and more golf, like Tin Cup's a good movie.
Yeah.
That was my honorable mention. I had like you guys done?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh well, I mean you can throw out whatever you want. Sweeps, hop in.
Yeah, they're all the same.
Water's
warm. The two honorable mention for me were probably like Tin Cup and Caddyshack. Tin Cup, Caddyshack, and for me, Trouble with the Curve. That just because I'm going to tell you that I hate analytic nerds, and so I love the old school fucking eye test. Right? For me, I look at things different. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at. So not necessarily an epic movie. Jay Timbers, that's my guy. Love Clint. I just love. I love the concept. It's a middle finger to the fucking nerds, and nothing makes me more happy than that.
Eat shit, nerds.
So then you go into my top 10. It's I love me some Remember the Titans at 10. 8 Men Out at 9 for me.
Ooh. 8 Men Out's a good one.
Ooh, that's old school. I like it.
Slapshot at 8. The Program at 7. Friday Night Lights. I love me some Friday Night Lights.
Oh, that's my top 5. I didn't fucking say it. That's in my top 5.
Friday Night Lights at 6. I got Major League at 5. Love me some Major League, of course. Like you said, Rocky. All the Rockies are fantastic. Any of my top 4 can be interchangeable. I love me some Rocky, of course. Hoosiers, top 3 is 3rd for me. I'm a Miracle guy. I absolutely love Miracle. That's 2 for me. I just think the Herb Brooks thing. Poor guy, passed away before he got to see the whole thing.
I know.
He lived the story. I get it. Just awesome. Just absolutely, once again, another guy that took his stance. The movie itself is awesome and the story is awesome, but just another guy took the stance of like, listen, I got no time for an 8-man panel. I got no time for maybe the best. I got no time for the best players in America. I got time for 20 of the guys that are going to fit my system and do what I tell them to do and become 100.
Play their balls off. Yeah.
And Kurt Russell played that to a T.
Oh, dude, he was awesome.
He was incredible.
I watched it the other night. It was amazing. And for me, Bull Durham's number 1. Baseball.
I love Bull Durham.
Love me some Bull Durham. So.
Yeah.
I love Field of Dreams for the nostalgia, but Bull Durham, I think, might be the best baseball movie. Just because the interchangeableness of the comedy with the actual baseball and Costner and Robbins and Sarandon are great in it. Absolutely great. So I love Bull Durham. I'm right with you on that.
And Mr. Alaska was, and to me, Youngblood never gets any love. That's one of my old time. It's didn't make my list, but it's in my top 20. Love me some Youngblood.
Because Tommy's not here with the comments. Prism 280 is another great movie I completely forgot about. Legend of Bagger Vance.
Yeah. Oh.
And then White Man Can't
Bagger
Jump
Vance must
from
be
D. Jones.
White Man Can't Jump is a good one. See, basketball-wise, like...
Little Giants from Anthony Adas.
Little Giants, that's nostalgic. That's nostalgic.
Yeah, like I said, it's
so hard. Summer Catch.
Yeah, it's so hard to make your list. Great job, Billy. That's awesome. Glory Road. I'm a Glory Road guy and Blue Chips. They just didn't make my top 10, but love Glory Road. Love Blue Chips.
There's one about a Syracuse football player, Ernie Davis. What's that one called?
Yeah, The Express. Good one.
Express.
Yeah.
I mean, I should that should be in my top 10. But
Blindside was mentioned. Waterboy from
Waterboy. Waterboys. If you're looking comedy, Waterboys right there.
Yeah.
Same thing. Same thing with Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
Number one if you're looking comedy, right there.
Yep.
Rob Pove's a big Goon fan.
Oh, fucking Goon is spectacular. Goon is spectacular.
Oh, it's great.
I'm trying to think of other ones I had.
Raging Bull.
Yeah.
First off, Raging Bull could be top 3. It could be.
No, it
like
it could
as
be.
the movie goes,
Prism.
it could be top 3. Fucking Raging Bull is an absolute fantastic movie, and De Niro's incredible in it.
Prism 280, Bull Durham, Raging Bull, and Goon. He said not a great movie, but a personal favorite.
Yeah, Jake
Bull
LaMotta.
Durham is a great movie.
De Niro was great as Jake LaMotta. Yeah, he was awesome.
Oh, De Niro gained 55 pounds.
The fighter
That's
was
incredible. That's the most incredible part. De Niro is boxing, and then they take 6 months from shooting, and he gains 55 pounds. What the fuck? That's
Antonio
crazy.
Holmes.
That's crazy.
The fish that saved Pittsburgh.
That's that's
Dr.
old school.
J.
That's like Brian's song. Brian's song is a tearjerker.
Yeah.
Rudy is another one that's very good and nostalgic. Is Rudy.
The Replacements, Julio Vargas, The Replacements, and the Longest Yard.
Love me some Replacements.
Oh,
and Rudy.
Little Shane Falco. I'll talk.
Yeah, Rudy will just never make my list, but a very good movie, and the story's awesome. It's like, once again, I get deep and I explain myself. You know, you can't play 3 plays and then make my fucking top 10. You just can't. The story's awesome, and I love it. Tip my cap to him.
Vince Vaughn has his first role in that, I think.
Yeah, good job,
He's
Rudy.
just a show off, man. He's just a show off.
You got to be a fucking all-pro or something.
You've been All-American.
You got to go from
John Favreau's fucking a big fat dude. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to go from.
Rudy's a solid film though.
Yeah,
I hear you.
Absolutely.
Rob Pove, Cinderella Man. That was another good one.
Oh, that is a good one.
With
what's the one with the female boxer?
$1 Million Baby.
$1 Million Baby's a good one.
$1 Million Baby. There was another. What was the one with Jake Gyllenhaal? It was a boxing movie with Jake Gyllenhaal where his wife gets murdered.
No,
I don't know.
The Fighter's good. That's the Mickey Ward.
Fighter, Mickey Ward is the Fighter. Ward, yeah, that's a good one.
Yep. Oh, D. Jones, Above the Rim.
I was trying to think of Hoop Dreams, which is not really a movie. It's almost like a documentary. Hoop Dreams is a good one.
Yep.
The Air Up There.
Oh my God, I was thinking of that. What's the African dude? Yeah. That's like Joel Embiid. Kevin Bacon's out there playing ball in fucking, wherever.
I mean, like you said,
Kenya.
Obviously comedies, but Kingpin, little slight.
First off, I can't even mention the fact that I didn't bring up Kingpin because Kingpin's the top 5 movies to me. There you go. Fucking spectacular. These kids are almost Munson.
Rob Tovey and Julio Vargas came through. Southpaw.
Southpaw.
That's the one with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, Kingpin, so good. God damn.
Invincible, Julio Vargas, Invincible.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I think we have. I think
Vince
on next
Papale's
Saturday. Speaking of Invincible, Vince Papale is going to be on with the boys next Saturday.
Nice. Zach
Burr, Eddie Will Farrell sports movie. Yeah, it's probably not wrong. Talladega Nights, semi-pro.
Blades of Glory.
Blades of Glory.
I love me some semi-pro. That was 3 steps. Suck my cock. I'll murder your family.
What are you doing, Matt? You're out after Invincible. Thanks for checking in, Matt.
I'm trying to think of like other
Play
older
It to the
ones.
Bone.
Oh, that's a boxing movie.
Yeah.
Antonio Banderas, I believe.
Yeah,
Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson. Antonio. Yeah.
Oh, I've seen it.
There you go. Yeah.
It's kind of shitty. Trying to think of like other older ones. 8 Men Out was a good pull earlier.
8 Men Out's a great one.
Fuck.
Brian
Song's a tearjerker. Don't watch Brian Song. It's a tearjerker. By the way, worst movies. Oh, let's go. Worst
hold on.
movies.
Well, this might fit into both. Julio Vargas, the garbage picking, field goal kicking Philadelphia phenomenon. The Tony Danza one. Remember that one?
Jeez, I don't even know that.
Jake Field, Gridiron Gang, Ralph Del Vecchio, Draft Day. I love that.
Draft Day was solid.
Zach Burr, Cool Runnings.
Oh my God. Jamaican bobsled team? Are you kidding me? Feel the rhythm. Feel the ride. Come on, y'all. It's bobsled time.
One of my favorite movies, just in general.
I love me some Cool Runnings. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's kind of pseudo sportsy. Is Finding Forrester with Sean Connery and Rob Brown. He's a high school basketball player, and he whatever. But it's not really a sports movie, but it's got sports scenes in it.
Yeah. Then you got like ones that are like, how about the Big Green?
Get Carter.
Oh, the Big Green.
Big Green, old school fucking soccer, or like the one with Will Ferrell and where he coaches soccer with Dicka.
Oh, what is that one? Oh, yes.
That's when Dicka punched him in the face, and he's like, "Dicka has fists like small trucks."
later, Matt.
Oh shit! There's some other great ones.
What dodgeball? Oh, dodgeball.
Dodgeball. You got to pay double for that in this town.
On the outro.
Zach Burr was right earlier. Any Will Ferrell movie.
Yeah, we're trying to think of the soccer one. No, I'm blanking on the name. Kicking and Screaming.
Him and Dick.
Kicking and Screaming.
Thank you, Zach and Julio.
Kicking and Screaming.
There's so many. I mean, the list can go on and on and on.
Yeah, that was a good rundown.
Great rundown. Everybody was jumping in. I mean, I wore something.
Bears.
These Bears.
Oh,
yeah.
The original is incredible.
Walter Matthau, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, with Matthau, it's incredible.
Antonio, good call.
Bad News Bears is a good one.
Rob Brinkman on the poll. Top 10 offense, all depends on the
Well, that's why you bring Peters back, hopefully. Bend it like Beckham. So, you can also do Invictus, which is a good movie. It's kind of geared towards a little sports.
Anybody say Booby Miles?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, well, I love Sweep said it.
That was my
happy I got that right. Sweep said it. Friday Night Lights is, to me, like, people remember the Titans came out almost kind of the same time, maybe a couple of years before Friday Night Lights. To me, Friday Night Lights is way better than Remember Titans. I love Friday Night Lights. Y'all want to win? Put Booby in.
Bench warmers, age on the outfield.
All I know is when I was going to I'm doing it with black Nikes on.
Anthony 80s with Foxcatcher. I didn't see that one.
Foxcatcher is a good movie. It's more. It's DuPont. Yeah, that's the wrestling. That's like the what the fuck are their names? The two brothers. God damn it.
Schultz's.
What's the other one?
There you go.
Vision Quest was good. Like you talk about old school stuff. Vision Quest is.
The Natural's a great movie.
Yeah. I just
shit.
You have to cover off the ball once again, but Natural's classic. Absolutely. Vision Quest, all the right moves. Early Tom.
All the right moves. Tom Cruise. Yeah.
Ladybugs.
Ladybugs is Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, good
and
call,
Jonathan Brandis dressing as a girl. Yeah, I know Ladybugs.
I like the Natural Pove. I hear you. It's just like you said. Once again, it's all It wasn't. I liked it. It's just the cover coming off the ball, the lightning striking. I mean, I just can knock it off.
Pick me a winner. Pick me a winner, Tommy. My father's a huge Natural fan. He would be saying the Natural right now. It's okay to me. But like I said, bringing up terrible sports movies, they need to do something about this, by the way, because possibly the greatest, baseball player ever, Babe Ruth, has a terrible sports movie. The movie The Babe with
John Goodman.
It's just awful. It's just a terrible movie. So they need to do that. Someone needs to come up with a new fucking movie for Babe Ruth, because that's a terrible film.
Oh, loving a game. Good call, Zach.
42 was good. 42, 61. Two other good ones.
Yep, that 61 was good. Yeah, really good.
Did you guys dive into the Friday Night Lights TV show? I didn't get deep into it.
I did not. I know a lot of people love it though.
It was one of my shows. Yeah, Connie Britt ran it back, and that same Booster guy played his same role too.
Okay, was it good?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Nice.
Big fan. Big
Mr.
fan.
Yeah,
Baseball.
the movie is spectacular.
Yeah.
Mr. 3000 with Bernie Mac.
Mr. 3000.
Bernie Mac.
Yeah,
I love when they're talking to what's Billy Bob's name? And fuck, I'm gonna fuck this up.
Oh, we forgot Varsity Blues.
Oh yeah.
Varsity Blues. Yeah, a 10. I'll give it a 10. A 10. A damn 10.
Will you go to prom with me?
Mr. 3000 is a terrible film, by the way. Yes, whoever said that, awful.
President said John Goodwin said he regrets the way he played it.
As he should, because The Babe is a terrible movie. Terrible.
Mr. Fan. Sorry, Anthony. Can't win that one.
What's that?
By the way, Prism, solid name.
Anthony Adas actually likes Mr. 3000.
I laugh at it. I know it's not a good movie.
Was not very good. No.
Yeah, I mean, come
Bernie
on.
Mac.
He's not even getting a hit. Let's be real. He's not hitting.
Oh, he had 3,000.
$2.99.
He ain't getting that one more. No shot the shape he was in. No, zero.
First time I think it's an infield single for the first hit. I have seen the film. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, 3 hits short, I think it was.
Yeah, they moved him to 29.97. I think the first one he gets is an infield hit.
What's up, Jerry?
What was the name of that movie?
Mr. Baseball.
Oh,
Mr. Baseball.
Yeah.
Hey, Jerry, what's
Frank
up?
Thomas is in that.
Jay, hi.
How about like Little Big League?
Oh, I love Little Big League.
Angels in the outfield.
I love it.
It's
Rookie
about
of the
a
year.
Spanish guy.
Rookie of the year.
Jose, can
There
you
might
see?
be 2,000 sports movies.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
two.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
There was that Warrior movie with it was like more MMA based.
The wrestler.
that's a pretty good movie.
Nobody said the wrestler. The wrestler.
The wrestler
The wrestler's very good.
was Christian Bale in the Warrior, or am I thinking of another movie?
No, Tom Hardy is.
Tom Hardy. But Christian Bale was the brother
Bale is
of
in The Fighter. He's in
the fighter. That's it.
Yeah. Yep.
He's spectacular in The Fighter.
He's Mickey White's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great in it.
And he's all
Yes.
coked out.
He's a fucking crackhead.
insane.
He's a crackhead in it. Yeah.
So, transitioning, wore this one. Try to talk some stuff into existence here.
It's nice out. We got women walking by.
All right. Well, the creep out the window. So,
what are you gonna do? I live my life the way I live my life. Okay. If you're gonna wear yoga pants and walk around, people are looking at you. That's just fact.
no, you're fine. Nobody's saying they shouldn't be looked at. I'm just saying you're.
That's why they wear them. They don't buy them to fucking wear them inside.
Tough to work out in jeans, but I hear you.
You don't have to have jeans. They still make squishy pants.
Costanza.
Can't stand you.
Eat the pie, George. George, eat the pie.
I wore some of this shit.
George, fight your father.
Trying to talk this back into existence a little bit. The NBA really was the first one to say goodbye. Now, over in Korea, on ATD's socials, it just came out that Aaron Altair says that they get their temperature taken every time they come to the ballpark in South.
Yeah, Aaron Altair was doing an interview from South Korea. I see that. He's in the Korea Baseball League, the KBL. KBL guy, Aaron Altair is.
So that's the next step for professional sports here.
I think Greg liked him.
Is the ability to
81.
to test on the spot, right? And to be able to sort of not even test, but temperature and other things. I think over here, they sort of want to test on the spot. So, I wore the Sixer stuff, hopefully, sooner than later that we get it with no fans. But I know, Welsh, you wanted to talk about this sort of, if they did start stuff back up, where them two teams, and then if they start stuff up in baseball, sort of where them three teams you sort of think they are.
See, to me, I'm not going to go baseball because obviously the season hasn't started. I think the Phillies are in a good position to have a good year. I'll just say that. But looking Sixers and Flyers, to me, it's like opposite spectrums for them. Actually, like Flyers, you got to be nervous, especially if they come back and say, "Hey, we're just starting the playoffs." That means we're starting against Pittsburgh, and I can already see it. We were on such a roll. We got so much time off, and then Pittsburgh beats us in a playoff series. I'd be pissed. Now, if you're looking from the Sixers' perspective, hey, Ben was banged up. We weren't playing great. Maybe the time off really helps them. So it's like opposite spectrums with the Flyers and Sixers. But I do think that they're going to start back up. I think like we got June. I know I'm in the minority here, maybe in the group, but I really think that everything's going to end once it gets really warm out. I think the next couple of weeks we'll see everything end. I don't think that there's going to be fans for anything, which hurts the Sixers, obviously, because we play well at home with our fans. But I don't think there's going to be fans for anything, but I do think everything's going to start back up in like a month.
Yeah, in terms of pro sports. Now, yeah, I think they're closer to trying to get that plan together for the middle. Seems like sort of that's where they're at with it for all of them. I know Las Vegas offered the entire strip to the NBA, the play games there, in the hotels and all that stuff. So, areas offering the ability for teams to come play. I know we talked about that before in the NBA.
Atlantic City.
So yeah, I mean, there's places where you can sort of house these guys in a way, and I think baseball's looking at that same direction. So I think they try to come back. It's big business. They're losing a lot of money. They're going to try to come back and figure it out. And once they sort of test on the spot, I think it's going to make it way more comfortable for them to come back. And I think they're about a month and a half probably away from that. So that's why I think that's they're continuously in the talks around the same time since the beginning. So that leads me to believe that they've been all targeting that middle of June-ish time frame from the very beginning of this. So I think they're sort of trying to hold true to that, and I think hopefully they're hoping everything pans out. But I think you're spot on when you talk about the Sixers. The loss of Ben Simmons was crushing that season. I wouldn't want to be a Milwaukee Bucks fan on a run like that and then have to come back. Right away. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to be that. So when you talk about the Sixers, I think it's definitely a benefit. When you can get a healthy Ben Simmons for whatever rest of the regular season into the postseason. Now, what shape's your
big and he's good. He said last week he's good.
Yeah, and what shape's your big
is good to know. That's good to know moving forward.
Yeah, and then what shape's your big guy in? That's another question.
You would hope he's fine.
You have to factor that in as well. Yeah,
like Grubhubbed it up.
But you're right. You're right. Then you talk about the Flyers scorching hot.
Maybe you ordered a Peloton. Nice. Joe.
Good luck with that. Yo, Kyle. Colin chiming in.
What up, Kyle?
I don't know what Bob was saying right there. Did she break up with him again? I didn't know. But
I don't know. She's just running around with NBA players. That's just their MO. That's
Julio.
Fine.
Yeah, here you go, Tom.
We're fine with Ben. As long as Ben's not losing sleep over it, we're fine. He can hit all day. Have fun, Ben. We're not taking away from your fun here.
Julio Vargas, rumors that the NBA wants to contain teams in Vegas. We have 3 venues to play at. Yep. They have enough to be able to get it done without fans, too. You just need courts.
Yeah, I actually don't see – I wouldn't be shocked if there's no fans the rest of the year, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
like even the NFL. Just because I feel like the 30,000 people plus in one spot, they might be trying to get away from that. And I don't care. Just start sports up. I don't care if there's no fans. It might be a tough adjustment for the guys actually playing, I feel like. But for us watching, we just want sports. I think all of us are in agreement. Just start it up, man. We've had enough. And we're going on about 55 days without sports. It's getting rough.
Yeah, it's hitting the tipping point without sports, and I think they realize it too. And
well, they're losing money, so they definitely realize it.
They're trying to make the push to come back, and they will, and they'll try it, and they'll try to work through it. But there's definitely venues to be able to do it. When you talk about all sports, and when you talk about Vegas, don't forget, don't just talk about don't talk about the 2 areas that you can do it, which is UNLV, and then obviously, over at the T-Mobile Center. You also got to factor in that like the MGM and other places that host boxing matches can also have the ability to be made into arenas. So being made into courts. So I mean, you have more than just the 2 off the top of our head. You're talking about 2.
Yeah, because you don't have to worry about fans.
Yeah, you have to talk about another 2.
It's not worried about fans at this point. It's just worried about can you make a basketball court.
They might have 5 places in Vegas with the ability to play.
Maybe more than that. Might be like
I'm just
7.
throwing a lower number out because I don't want to judge everyone's insights because I haven't been in every casino in Vegas, but I know at least At least.
And that's tough. I mean, that's tough on the guys. Like I think the MLB talking about like Arizona and Florida, that's tough on the guys. It's tough on the guys that you're going to be away from your families or your families have to come with you. But guess what? This is part of being an athlete. I mean, like guys in the military, they move constantly with their families and they don't get paid millions of dollars.
Yeah, well,
so this is like part of it. I understand it's tough for those guys. I really do.
Everybody has to
my
make
heart goes out to you. But you're getting paid millions of dollars.
Yeah, I don't
fucking bring your family with you. That's the way it goes.
I don't think it's. Yeah, go ahead.
No, okay, go ahead. Everybody makes sacrifices.
Yeah. I just don't think it's not. I don't think that is even. I'm sure that's an issue, but like if they'll be okay with that. They're just not. There's just guys like, and one of them's Philadelphia Philly. You know what I mean? But you're talking about Charlie's having his first baby, Wheeler's having his first baby. You know what I mean? Like those guys ain't missing that. You know what I mean? So I'm saying if you're talking about the whole bubble thing that they're talking about Arizona or Florida, whatever it is, those guys are going home for that, or they're going away for that. Yeah. And when does the clock start when they come back? You know what I mean? So it's just that's the issue you have. Not about like I hear you. You know when you have a job to do, so it's not just about leaving your family. I'll see you in a little bit. It's about those specific cases right there. You know.
Yeah, and I think when you talk about that, you know, they want to be able to test on the spot, so they want to be able to. So, yeah, go ahead, come back, and we can test you on the spot every day and be good. So they want to get to that level, too, on being able to do that when you talk about the athletes where guys can go, hey, your baby's being born, absolutely you're going, right? So when you come back, we can test you on the spot and you can come right back and start playing when you're ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it'll start with the temperature. It'll check the temperature. You don't need tests for that other than just the thermometer. And then, obviously, if you have elevated temperature, then you get the full test. But Bob 5490 bring up, you know, we talked about Vegas having a whole bunch of arenas potentially for basketball. To do this for hockey, though, it becomes a little bit more difficult to kind of, you know, keep everybody in one area because you only have so many, you know, hockey dimensioned rinks and the capabilities to keep them, you know, up and running and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, it's got to be somewhere where you have the ability to have at least two. You know, because you're running games all day.
Yeah.
That's how you got to do it. I mean, you just got to run games all day. It's going to be a little different.
Come here to South Jersey, Philly. We have
for us gamblers, it's spectacular.
Yeah, I mean,
hey, we got it's like the NCAA tournament for professional sports. If we're running games all day, shit, it might be a bad thing for us. Willie Vegas will love it.
Others may not so much. But yeah, I mean, I'm good with games from 10 a.m. on.
Yeah.
And Julio, I see your question here. Yeah. I mean, you would think it wouldn't hurt him.
Well, I'll tell you what matters today, though. You know, it's not even at the game. It's what happens on social media. So they can't run from it. As much as like you could back.
Oh yeah, shit. Yeah, that's just coming. That's just coming regardless.
The pressure's there. So there's no way around it. Okay, can we not do this? We're having such a good show. You know, we're having such a good show. All right, nobody's rooting against the kid. All right. Jayhad, I'm not reading off of all this.
Listen, no one's rooting against Jalen Hurts, like we said. I hope he turns into a great player, but just any fan of the Eagles should back up the fact that we hope he doesn't play because we want our star QB to play. So that's just fact. There's no other way around it. We hope he doesn't play really at all besides a couple gadget plays. And to me, I said this last Sunday, I'm not a gadget guy. To me, when you run gadget plays, that means you're taking your best player off the field.
Yep.
So I got no time for gadget plays. Rather just keep Carson under center.
Back to the start of stuff. You know, do you think you don't think they go right into when you talk about the NHL? If the NHL goes off, let's just talk about the NBA for a second.
They might go right to playoffs. I don't think they will.
Like postseason, or do they go?
I think they will. They will do like two. They're going to do like a 2-week, you know, training camp or something just to get ready. Obviously, I think both leagues. Yeah. But then it's like it depends on when it actually starts. If they do play any more of the regular season games, you know what I mean, or they just hop right to the playoffs. I think hopping to the playoffs is not out of the picture. It definitely might happen.
See you, Colin.
See you, Kyle.
Hang in there, buddy.
See you, Kyle.
Yeah, we're not. Jay, that's too much. We're going.
Sorry, I made a face. I saw a couple movies. A League of Their Own we missed.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And
Very good movie.
That's terrible because that's a great film. It really is.
Yeah.
Avoid the clap, Jimmy Dugan. What? It's good advice.
Julio, while you're here, I got a question. Any relation to the boxing Vargas is out there in Vegas? Just out of curiosity. I know you said you're a soccer guy earlier. Just curious.
Boxing pedigree.
Vargas name in Vegas. There's a lot of them. It seems like. Or at least it's where I watch them.
All right, so crumb of the week, boys.
I'll go.
Unless anybody else has anything to say about
No,
that.
no,
Go ahead.
No, the startup stuff. Anyone, starting up or, their thoughts on the.
I just hope it happens soon. That's, to me, I don't really care how it happens. Like, my fingers are crossed. I don't want us to jump right to the playoffs, but if we have to, if that's what's going to happen and start it up sooner, I don't care what happens. Just start it up. I've had enough.
Yeah, I was going to say, my brain's fried. It's a good question, and I don't want to sound like indifferent, but I really don't want to just keep speculating. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Hopefully they got a plan and they figure it out, and we'll go from there. You know what I mean? And like you said, revenue is revenue. Without fans, I mean, they're still going to take a giant hit, obviously. But from TV and merchandise, they'll be happy. Obviously.
Yeah, they'll get some money back. They're not going to get the money they normally get for sure, but they'll get money. They're hemorrhaging right now, and they'll get money. They'll get money back if they started up even without fans there. They'll get money back. They're not going to get their normal, but they'll get money back.
Yeah. For me, my crumb is Isaiah Thomas. Listen, we all have our opinions. We all have played with guys at different levels, and we all feel about different guys. We're all athletes. We played against guys that we felt guys were different. You know what I mean? It's just the timing of the interview. We know it's sour grapes. Knock it off. Jordan's not the fourth best guy that you ever faced. All right, he's considered probably the GOAT of all time. With other. Now the guys on his list are fantastic. I'm not taking anything away from Kareem. Larry's my guy. Magic, and you know what I mean. But to me, that's just a scorned statement in an interview, you know what I mean? Because he claims that was the first time that he actually heard Michael really call him an asshole, because he thought, like he said, they've been cordial through the years, you know what I mean? He obviously knew that they weren't buddies, you know what I mean? But that was the first time he actually saw Mike say, call him an asshole. So I feel like that was just like a silly rebuttal, if you ask me. But with no sports, I know we're grasping for straws, but Isaiah, grow up.
Let it go, Isaiah. Wills?
Skip me. I'll come back. I'm thinking. I like the Isaiah one though. Out of you, though, Swoops. I like it.
Yeah, I don't really have one.
You don't have one.
Well, there hadn't been much going on. To be honest,
something you can go back. I'll say on the topic of MJ Isaiah, but just go Jerry Krause. The more you learn about him, in terms of like greatness started to come around him. Obviously brought in by him. You know what I mean? And it seemed like he, for up until the episodes I watched, he had a little bit of trouble handling it. You know what I mean? And a little bit of trouble with some bad comments way back in the day. If you want to go way back. So I mean, he could be a crumb, simple one. Phil grew into a great coach. You know what I mean? You got to be able. Same thing with like Isaiah and the other guys. You got to be able to handle, greatness around you, especially when you brought him in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to me, like
three guys.
Sweeps was great, and to me, it's Isaiah. Like I don't even dislike Isaiah, but it's complete sour grapes at this point. You know what it is when you say he's fourth best. Like, come on. And I'm not I like to harp on the fact that I think that Michael is the greatest player of all time. But Michael did early in his career really struggle to get going before he got other players around him, and people disregard that all the time. But to me, like Isaiah, he's obviously the best player you ever went against. You watched the way that Detroit tried to handle him. Detroit beat the shit out of him, specifically knowing he's this great player and we need to beat the shit out of him. So. Like you see the way it was handled, and obviously you can't say fourth. You don't create the. You can even say he's the best player ever faced, and then take a shot at him. That's fine. As a competitor, I like that. I like that fire. But don't say he's the fourth best guy ever faced.
You can't sit there and say that, and then have the Jordan rules. Every time he gets past the foul line, we hammer him. and we knock him down. You can't sit there and have the Jordan rules, but yet he's not. He's only fourth best.
Yeah, and listen, I mean, like I said, I love Isaiah too. I love Isaiah, but you don't. It's just let it go. Let it go. I mean, nobody was a bigger rival than like Magic and Larry. And when it's all said and done, the respect's there. And at the end of the day, that's part of the respect in the game. You can have an ego and you can dislike somebody, but you respect the game. And the fact that he can't let it go after all this time,
I think early on he couldn't get past.
Michael ate his lunch late, and
he couldn't get past Larry.
Right? No, hold on. It tells me that Michael ate his lunch late, and he can't let it go. That's what it tells me.
Well, when Isaiah got to the mountaintop and everyone was like, he's the best player, Jordan came in and surpassed it within a year. That I think is really what affected him the most. Because at first he couldn't get past Larry. Then they get to the mountaintop. They're the bad boys. Isaiah's amazing, and then bang, Jordan's right there to take it from him right away. Is what I think is probably the most thing. And the dream team.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, boys. Well, it's been a great show. You guys don't have crumbs. So
Good work, you guys. Good work.
Great, yeah, but great show, fam. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned. Obviously, tomorrow night you got the Sports Hounds, and you got a show every day here at A2D, trying to keep
Sports Hounds have old school NHL flyer Andre LaCroix on as well, by the way. So tune in, check them out. That should be a great show.
Absolutely. Go plug, Wells. Hell of a job out of you there.
Yeah.
Totally redeemed yourself from not having a crumb.
Julio checked in. He's not related to any of the Vargases out there.
Next Sunday, we'll see if we can get some MLB pitchers on. We'll see what we can do.
Let's go.
Let's see what we can do, boys.
Julio, great show. Got me through a 2-mile run and lunch.
Dabble in some fastballs. Let's go.
High and tight.
Up and in, yep. So, yeah, great show. Praying for sports. We need it.
Thanks, Julio. Thank you all.
But, yeah, shows every day.
Yep.
Stay
Good to
tuned.
hear from everybody.
Like, subscribe.
We'll be here.
Like, thank our doc. Make them yours. Every Sunday, we're brought to you by them. Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com, as well as Ambuck Services, 20% off. Tell them the boys from A2D Radio sent you. Michael Ambrose, 20% off all your gutter guards, gutter installations, pretty much anything you need in your backyard. Hit the like, subscribe button, family. Stay tuned, because if reminders are a big key. We out.
Later. See you, boys.